Bruce Lee revolutionized martial arts with his philosophy of adaptability and precision in combat. Unlike traditional fighters who adhered strictly to one style, Lee believed in a fluid, ever-changing approach that responded to the opponent's movements in real time. His fight strategy was a perfect blend of speed, accuracy, and the ability to adjust instantly to any situation. Precision, the key to maximum impact. Bruce Lee's striking ability was legendary, not just because of his speed, but because of his precision. He practiced tirelessly to ensure that every punch, kick, and counter landed with maximum efficiency. His famous one-inch punch was a testament to his ability to generate explosive force in the shortest distance. Lee's precision extended beyond just striking. It applied to his footwork, defensive maneuvers, and even his mental approach. He could read his opponents with uncanny accuracy, predicting their next move before they even executed it. This allowed him to conserve energy while delivering the most effective attacks. Adaptability, the secret to dominance. One of Bruce Lee's most famous philosophies was, "Be like water." He emphasized that a fighter should not rigidly stick to a single technique or strategy. Instead, they should flow seamlessly between attacks and defenses, adapting to the rhythm of the fight. His adaptability was evident in his approach to combat. Whether facing a skilled grappler, a powerful striker, or a defensive counterpuncher, Lee could adjust his tactics instantly. If an opponent relied on speed, he would use timing and counters. If they were aggressive, he would use defensive angles and footwork to neutralize their attack. This adaptability was the foundation of Jeet Kune Do, the martial art Lee developed. He combined elements from boxing, fencing, Wing Chun, and other disciplines, stripping away unnecessary movements and focusing only on what worked in a real fight. Real-life application. Bruce Lee's fights and training. Although Bruce Lee never competed in professional bouts, his sparring sessions and street encounters demonstrated his fight strategy in action. One well-known example was his sparring match with a skilled opponent in a dojo. Initially, the opponent attempted to overwhelm Lee with aggressive attacks, but Lee quickly adjusted, using precise counter-strikes and movement to control the fight. His ability to switch from offense to defense in an instant left his opponent unable to keep up. Bruce Lee stood in the center of the training hall, his stance relaxed yet ready. His eyes were locked on his opponent, a taller, stronger martial artist trained in traditional styles. The moment their fight began, his adversary lunged forward with a powerful strike, aiming to overwhelm Lee with sheer force. But in the blink of an eye, Bruce Lee shifted his body ever so slightly, just enough to avoid the blow, and countered with a precise jab to the ribs. His attack was not only fast but devastatingly accurate, striking the exact point where his opponent's balance was weakest. The philosophy of precision. Bruce Lee's ability to land every strike with pinpoint accuracy was not a coincidence. It was a result of relentless training. He believed that a fighter should never waste movement, and every strike should serve a purpose. In combat, he would carefully study his opponent, noting their stance, breathing, and habits. By observing these details, he could anticipate their next move and exploit their weaknesses with surgical precision. One of Lee's most famous techniques, the intercepting fist, was a prime example of his precision. Instead of waiting for an opponent's attack to finish, he would strike mid-motion, cutting off their offense before it could fully develop. This tactic was not about brute strength, it was about timing and accuracy. He would land his punch at the exact moment his opponent was vulnerable, making even a short, controlled strike feel like a knockout blow. Adaptability, flowing like water, but precision alone was not enough. Bruce Lee's philosophy of fighting was rooted in adaptability. he famously said, "Be like water, my friend. Water does not resist, it flows. It takes the shape of its container, adjusting to any situation in a real fight." This meant never sticking to one style or one approach. If his opponent was an aggressive striker, Lee would use footwork and counters to neutralize their power. If they were defensive, he would create openings through feints and speed. Against grapplers, he would adjust his distance, using quick strikes to keep them from closing in. One legendary account describes how Lee once sparred with a skilled kicker who relied on long-range attacks. Instead of meeting his opponent's strength head-on, Lee adjusted his strategy, staying just outside the opponent's range the moment the kicker extended his leg. Lee stepped in, trapping the limb and countering with a powerful strike to the body. The fight was over in seconds. Training for the unpredictable to master adaptability, Bruce Lee trained differently from traditional martial artists. He would spar with practitioners of different disciplines: boxers, wrestlers, karateka, to expose himself to all forms of combat. He drilled reaction-based training, sharpening his reflexes so he could adjust instantly to an attack. His workouts combined speed drills, balance exercises, and power training, ensuring that he could switch between offense and